Alright, hey, hi, hello, how's it going guys? My name is ZetaRayZod and welcome back to more the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Now, before I begin, be sure to like, subscribe, and get that bell on to stay up to date on all my latest videos. So, last we left off, we've discovered that there was a third person in the carriage. It turned out to be a pickpocket named Gina Lestrade, if I'm not mistaken. And it kind of seems like, based on what they're saying, that she was hidden in a storage compartment right below Mr. McGilded. However, some evidence has come to light. I mean, not really evidence, but Van Zieks has pointed out that that area where she's allegedly supposed to be is actually filled with equipment to maintain the carriage. So we're not sure who's right and who's wrong, but the jury has kind of decided, half of them have decided against for a guilty verdict. So now it's kind of balanced again. So now we have to go through the trial all over again. So yeah, okay, let's continue. Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is a matter of outstanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please. Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted, almost beyond recognition. I mean, it's only 3-3. Come on, man. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. Why do you choose to come back now, though? Suspicious. Cross-examination. Oh, yes. Okay. So I stuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. So you're already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run? Well, yeah, I mean, what's the point of spending a joy to make a few bob, eh? That's a wrong idea, innit? She's going to be cockney, I think. I suppose she means there's no point spending money to make money. Actually makes sense. Counsel, may I remind you that this girl's a petty thief. Can you refrain from entertaining her tenants? Well, let us clear up the little mystery of the fares and all. 4 paying passengers with 5 pence apiece, making the 20 to which the cabman testified. And 1 little scapegrace riding for free. Right conk of a driver always goes for some grub before his last run, see? So that's when I slip into the carriage and get myself out and on their seat. Nice and easy, right? But your hiding place is a storage compartment, full of equipment for the coach, no? Well, yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. I've always chuck all that out and cram it in the corner somewhere. No one ever seems to bother much. And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia. Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all that stuff out so I could just hide under a seat. That's all I can tell you. It seems we've reached the end of the line of that inquiry. Continue. Okay. So she doesn't seem to be lying. So that would mean that when she left, that time between when she left and when it got into court, someone filled it back with paraphernalia. That was right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. A waste of time? Why is that? Well, most nights I'm on my own and you got permit at least some of the time. I beg your pardon? Did you say God permit? Oh yeah, well that's what me kind call it. You see the omnibus, I suppose. What is any noble one? The carriage ain't got no one in it for a while. And that's when you come out of your hiding place and get away? That's it. Only that night. This cove was sat on me seat from the start. And he didn't botch the whole way, did he? Not 1 inch. I was totally stuck. That's actually an interesting thing to point out, because if Mr. McGilded is on one side and the victim was on the other side, if he did not move, there was no way he could reach across and stab him, right? Do you mean to tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in a closed cabin? Yeah. Right, mister. To be sure. I was as shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift a cushion you've been sat on a fine child now, do you? Since Mrs. Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit then. I tell you, you can't see a blind thing in the hiding place. Let's pitch in there. So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all? Not a jot. Most days I push the cushion up with my head and look at the crack. Then I can have a butcher's at who I'm gonna fiddle. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I can have a look. The seat I get under ain't as plush as the other one, see. So most of the time, the passengers plot themselves opposite. But for some reason that night, this Irishman spent the whole journey right over my head. And for that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out. Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. Feels too much like being thrown in a clank. But it's the only place to hide in them carriages, so it's Obson's choice. Why doesn't she just stick to picking people's pockets in the open then? Maybe it's easier. I say there's some reason she's not letting on, judging from demeanor. Okay. So anyways, I was a bit scared, but I had to just stick it out under there. Nothing else for it. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out of my skin, I did, and the scream just came out. Hear a loud bang? When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor? Oh. Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump. And you let out a scream involuntarily. That's right. And then I felt the cushion over me head get lighter all of a sudden. Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes. Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim, could it not? I don't think so. Well, girl, did you see what happened at the crucial moment? She said only after she heard the bang, the seat got lighter. So that means only after the guy fell to the floor, McGilded got up. It's not the seat got lighter, then only she heard the bang. So I don't think so. Yeah, I saw it. You saw it. I pushed up the cushion and I had a quick butcher's while I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was sitting up the bloke what had fallen on the floor on the seat opposite. Okay, that's kind of what we agreed. Yeah, that matches Mr. Gild's account, of course. But then, the fella suddenly turns around and looks right at me. I sunk back down again, but I was too late by then. Should never have risked looking. Okay. It's because of that, the swell found me. He didn't help me get away, mate. And when Mr. McGilded discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place? I was scared stiff, I was. He dragged me out and sat me down on the seat and all. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason? Yeah, that bloke had a knife in his guts. He was still bleeding. Then the carriage lurched a bit and he ended up falling onto me. Ugh, how awful. Both me hands got covered in blood and made me feel sick as a dog. Okay, both hands covered in blood. There we go. That must be what the rooftop passengers saw. It still doesn't explain how he got stabbed. After that, I believe he talked to Mr. McGill for a while, is that correct? He asked me some stuff. Wanted to know my name and what I was up to and that. Then I heard something from up above. Someone screamed. Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume. Well, I didn't want no one to see my face, so I didn't look up. Then the horses were drawn up smartish and this here Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seat. See that you get away later." All 6 members of the jury has decided the defendant was innocent. For one pretty shining moment, yeah. It's clear that they're still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we could clinch the verdict we want. Yeah, I think you're right. And I have this niggling feeling. Something's bothering me. I just can't quite put my finger on it. So I snuck inside the carriage before they looked up the horses, just like always. Okay. Right, all waste of time. I got nothing to show from my troubles that night. I tell you, I can't see a blind thing in that hiding place in this one. After a while, he just like bang, nearly jumped out of his skin. I did. Skin just came out. It's because of that. This swell found me. Oh. This thing? What's this push up? Okay, wait. Am I supposed to give her some evidence or something? Okay. Oh. Suddenly he has something to say. Pursue. Excuse me. Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded? Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel? Just wondering, Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps. You seem to be thinking something to yourself. Oh, no. 'Twas nothing important. 'Twas nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad, shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was. So it was. I see. Yeah, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now. I don't know about yourself, but I find that the darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder as well. Yeah. I suppose it does, maybe. Miss Lestrade? Did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps? Nah, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. But jabbers, there's no need to tell the whole world of me foibles, you little scamp.
What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a vital new clue.
Yeah. What should we make of that last statement of hers? Wait, what? Court record? Oh, no. I don't want to look at... Sorry, my bad. History? Hear the Irishman snoring. That's good. It's profoundly important. My lord, I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important. Profoundly important? But all she said was that she heard nothing. Yes, which is the profoundly important point. I'm almost sure of it. Wait, I thought we were talking about the snoring. I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern mind, Counsel. Nevertheless. Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating your last statement, please. What? Supplement? What are you on about? Don't give me all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do. Well, it won't work on me. That's right. Insult the judge. Always a good move. I was straining my ears to work out what was going on, but all I could hear was snoring. So you were straining to hear what was happening the entire time, since the moment you hit yourself? Not exactly, no. Sorry? Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I could just push the cushion up and have a butchers to see what was what. But then, when I was this well getting on, I got my head down so he didn't notice me. And Mr. McGill sat on the seat under which you were hiding, correct? Yeah? What you Adam and Eve it? Eh? What a mug. So then all I could do was listen. I was waiting to jump out of there as soon as I heard him leave, you see. But would he? Not likely. Even though he stopped here and there, I never heard the door open. So I just had to stay put and listen to him driving his pigs to market, snoring like an old dog he was. Snoring. Are there any conclusions we could draw from that, I wonder? It makes sense. Right? Because he was snoring. Well, that all seems to make sense. You took your time reaching that conclusion, Counsel? What was that from Van Zeeks? Is he laughing? Very well then, continue with the cross-examination. Just a little bang there, he jumped out of my skin. I don't have anything. Do I have to just press everything again? Maybe McGilder will... Go on. No, I don't think so. Okay, wait. Maybe let's just continue on. Oh no, what? This one? I don't know, I think I'm supposed to find a reaction from Miss McGilda or something. Just keep pressing. I don't know. I don't think I have anything, do I? I don't think so. I wonder why she calls it guard permit. Is that like a... Is that actually a thing? I don't know. I'm pretty lost here. What's going on? Maybe I just say it doesn't add up. Mr. Lestrade, what you've just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts. Is it? At odds? Are you sure, man? Absolutely. It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared. Oh, that's why he laughed. Some Z's realized it too. Counsel, I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least. Yes, my lord? I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court. According to Mr. Lestrade, while she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGilda snoring. Think! There's something else she should have heard. Oh, she should have heard him, right? Right? Particular sound that Mrs. Shark could not have failed to hear in the night in question. Sound very clear, explained by the presence of the following person. This guy. Thrice fired, Mason. Yes, my lord. The sound that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus. Order? Order? Explain your reasoning, counsel. Miss Lestrade, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person on the board at the omnibus. Is that correct? Yeah, of course I was. I got on while the drivers in the pub, didn't I? And the next person to board the omnibus was Mr. McGilda. Thought I was. Not a soul was in the cabin when I climbed aboard. At least not in plain sight. So you were, to all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus at that time. Did I not just say as much? I wasn't traveling with anyone else, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I saw him get on, remember, to the crack under the seat cushion. He was on his own for sure. And from what we've heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onward journey. During which time, did you not hear the door opening or closing at all? Nah, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, wasn't I? Waiting for the swell to leave. In which case, when and how did the victim end up in the carriage? We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Therefore, Miss Lestrade's statement about what she did or did not hear is at odds with the facts. Wait. What if the guy fell from the roof? That's it? Yes, this petty thief's statement was clearly flawed. Lord Van Zieks? Yes, he knew. He knew all too well that there was an inconsistency in Miss Lestrade's statement. It would seem words of thanks are in order from my learned friend. What are you talking about? You have demonstrated matters impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more.
He's dead right. How could the victim possibly not have boarded an omnibus? That makes no sense whatsoever. And this girl is a pickpocket. Let's not forget that.
Oh no. She didn't even say anything.
I didn't want the judge to do the dear little mite just because she has some rather naughty ways. But I must say, I can't abide liars.
Neither can I. Mr. Foreman, I didn't want to judge the girl just because she has some less than salubrious ways. But I must say, I cannot abide liars.
It's not that that's 5 jury members leaning towards guilty.
Where does this glass come from? He keeps breaking and throwing it away and it just keeps coming back. Well, consideration for others is refreshing, my Nipponese friend. To the considerable troubles you have spared me. Choke on that. Yes, very refreshing. Oh! Ah! What are you playing at? Have you forgotten who you're working for, you useless Eastern Abaddon? This is carnage. It's perfect. Juror number 2 is the only one left.
Miss Naruhodo, the way this is going.
I know, we can't find some new way to convince everyone Mr. McGillen's innocence. The judge will rule and will have lost.
I very much wanted to believe the words of one of London's most respected gentlemen, but those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Yes, the witness's last statement seems to have revealed a critical inconsistency in her story. However, if we consider the possibility that her statement is in fact the truth, it may shed an entire new light on this whole case. What are you saying? Counsel?
I'm sorry, sir? Whatever do you mean? Counsel, I will not tolerate you attempting to prorogue my adjudication. Explain yourself at once.
When the accused boarded the omnibus on the night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opening a single time, as testified by the witness in the stand. And yet,
the victim's body was found inside the carriage.
If this petty thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus? There's only one way to explain how the victim came inside the carriage. He was put there after he died? There's not an entrance. He was in there already. He wasn't. That's impossible. There's another entrance, maybe. I was thinking about the roof. He was put there after he died. Also a possibility, but the door wasn't open. So can this thing open? Can the sky roof open? This is a latch. There's a latch there. There, right there. Ah, no. But either of these could be correct. He could be stabbed up there and then pushed down, or he could. There's another entrance. I don't think that's the right one. If not, the music would have stopped. The door wasn't opened even once. The only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way. I wondered what new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic. But behold, the omnibus is here for all to see. Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with a door. The other has only windows. Fixed windows which cannot possibly open. In short, there's no entrance to the cabin other than the door. There's the window. But there could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered. Oh, really? Yes. One other way inside that isn't the door. Another opening, the use of which allowed the victim to appear inside the enclosed cabin. Alright, counsel. The defense will identify the location for the court. Here's the omnibus in which the incident occurred. Where on earth is this entrance by which you propose the victim entered the cabin? Up here! The answer is obvious. It can only have been the skylight. I say, the skylight! That's true, that could explain why you hear such a large thud. He fell from the roof, that's why he showed up on the floor. Your ludicrous proposal almost has me lost for words. However, the skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through. So you claim, but do you have a shred of evidence to support your adult brain theory? Let's do it right now. Both Mr. McGilda and Miss Lestrade said the same in their testimonies. They each claimed to have heard a loud thud, such as a noise made by someone falling to the floor. Yes, which has already been explained, as the sound of the victim falling from his seat having been assaulted with a dagger. Yes, it has, but would a man slipping from the seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise as the witnesses describe? A noise loud enough to cause Miss Lestrade to let out an involuntary cry, in fact? Good gracious! Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment that the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it. You're now suggesting that the victim fell from the skylight into the cabin? That's simply impossible. How can you be so sure? Because if the victim had fallen inside through the skylight as you say, the passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen. And yet, not one person made mention of such events in their testimony. Well, yes, that's true, but... What's going on? What are you gonna say? Mighty humble fella. Make a wee comment here. Mr. McGilda? To be sure now, that the two fellas who were sat on the roof that testified afore said nothing of the victim falling through the skylight. But it seems to me, my lord, that is not so much a case of them not saying, but... Aye. It is a case of them being unable to say. What? I think perhaps the two fellas do be having something of a compelling reason not to mention what happened. Would you not agree? Fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Humph. Oh my goodness, surely not. Those two chaps on the roof? She's typing faster and faster. You mean the ones who stuck that knife in the man were... Ah! Really? Two of them? Hold it. Oh, hey guys. Just what exactly are you insinuating here, you blitherer? You rotter, he said. You rotter. What are you insinuating? This is a flaming outrage. I have a good mind to give you a blink in a minute. He'll give you a shiner in a minute, he said. So will I. Mr. Fairplay, you're effectively accusing me, a city gentleman and a well-respected banker, and me, a very angry hatter, suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts. It's a disgrace. It's scandalous. I protest. I protest in the strongest possible terms. That's right. I protest too. About you rotten scoundrel. Suddenly they show up. Order! 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 This is not the time, witnesses. I will not permit this wanton invasion of the stand. Return to the anteroom at once. But this is beyond reason, my lord.
It's outrageous. It's very hurtful, you know.
My lord, if I may comment. Go ahead, Lord Van Zeeks. It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witnesses. My learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and accuse the witnesses without proof. Accuse? I never intended to. It seems, young Nipponese, that your command of the English tongue is wanting. Nani? You proposed to this court that the victim fell through the skylight from the roof deck of the omnibus. That hypothesis cannot possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the events. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimated their criminal guilt. In our British courts of law, that is what is termed a baseless accusation. I know it's rash to put this idea forward without any actual evidence, but you can't just dismiss it without a second thought. What are we wasting time for? Get them to testify. Thought there was something fishy about that hat from the moment I laid eyes on the fellow. We have to see this matter through now, one way or another. There's filthy rubbish in our midst. We must dispose of it at once. Testify. Testify. What's happening? Listen now, hold on. Spectators in the public gallery they're in complete frenzy. Mr. Fairplay, Mr. First. My lord. You will take the stand again and make another formal testimony in reference to the indictment brought by the defense. Yes, my lord. I didn't come here for this. There's no time to think this through. All I can do is keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward, you mean? Alright, here we go. We're the only two people up on the roof deck, dead or alive. I can swear to that. If anything had happened where we were sitting, don't you think one or the other one of us would have noticed? In any case, neither of us knew the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it. If you're so sure about the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? I must say that on listening to this testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine how either witness could have performed any malevolent act on this open rooftop deck without the other noticing forthwith. That's right, you see. We're innocent, I tell you. Although logically, of course, the argument falls down if the two of you were in collusion with one another. What? According to the investigations by Scotland Yard, the two witnesses share no common dealings. Well, I don't trust coppers anymore than I trust the stinking rich. Something doesn't feel right here. The trial is going in our favor, really. So why do I feel so uneasy? Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. Let's see. So in no time, the victim Mr. Mason climb up to join you on the roof deck? Absolutely not. Dickon. No question about it, he said. None at all. Oh, but yes, of course. I remember seeing them both. I saw the victim inside the enclosed cabin talking to this man here. Is this true, Mr. McGildet? Jeremy, my lord, I thought risk of repeating myself. I boarded the omnibus alone and nodded off in sight almost immediately. That's an outright lie. Without doubt you were engaged in. Why don't we stop you there, fella, and ask, do you have any evidence at all? Tis all about evidence in the courts these days, so it is. You do well to remember that. I saw you with my own eyes. This is going so well. If anything had happened where we were sitting, don't you think one or two others would notice? Well, it was on the final run of the omnibus at past 10 o'clock in the evening. It would certainly have been quite dark. Perhaps too dark to see clearly? Is this some kind of lark? Is this some kind of a joke, he said? Is this what this is? Or perhaps one or the other of you fell asleep briefly. Are you fair dinkum, sir? Are you serious, sir? That's what he said.
It's impossible, I tell you. I'd give you the keys to the vault if you could fall asleep in that bitter cold. And if you didn't manage it, your eyelids would freeze shut and you never open them again.
That's extreme.
It was a dream, I tell you. I'd been put up with it because this man unlocked the door. Any true gent would have unlocked it and let me in when I had knocked. I'm dreadfully sorry about that, young fella, but you see, I was away with the fairies and I didn't hear you at all. That's a lie. I saw you through the glass. You were talking to someone. No, it was a cold night, that's all it was. People do be seeing things that aren't real in the cold. It's just hardly surprising. Seeing things. I believe we have reached an impasse here on this particular point. Ah, you. Don't take it personally now, lad. If I'm a suspect on this case, then it's only fair that you and the other fiend are too. Open and free competition's what a capitalist society is all about. This is the competition I'd like to be involved in, really.
Poor guy.
In any case, none of us knew, the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill this man.
So, you had never met Mr. Thrice Fire Mason before?
Oh, lummy. No, not once. Never. He'd never met the man before, he said. Never.
And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either?
That's right, sir. Patterson had much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir.
No, I imagine not.
You see, how many different ways can I put this? Neither of us have the remotest connection to the gentleman who were inside the cabin.
Got something to say, McGolden?
Mr. McGolden? Yes, counsel. What can I be doing for you? Can I be doing you for?
Didn't the witness's last statement give you pause for thought somehow?
Not the remotest connection. Is that right now? I wonder. What are you insinuating now? Oh, Mr. Fairplay, it has been too long, so it has.
Eh?
If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe this is fast approaching, is it not? Your repayment date. I beg your pardon. You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir. An unconscionable rate of interest. You tricked me. It's extortion. Well, now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fellow to pass his crimes off on another. Ah! And young Mr. First. Me, sir? What do you want to be, sir? You do be making hats for a living, do you not? That there top hat sliding about on your head? Is that one of your own creations, is it? Oh, well, I'm still just a apprentice, you understand. I'm learning to find a perfect fit for whatever fine gent walks through the door. The perfect fit, is it? Well, it has a very distinctive design, so it is. Many customers like it, I tell you. They like a distinctive touch. Customers? Such as Thrice Fire Mason. Ah. Oh, that's why he has a wonky hat. There's a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence of fraud, my lord. Oh, this you mean? Ah, that wonky hat. I can't help thinking that poor fella's hat looks distinctly familiar, wouldn't you say? Oh. That's one of my hats. Aye, that it is. So it would seem the brickmaker is a customer of yours. The sort of customer I wager you could have had a wee quarrel with over the distinctiveness of the goods. Oh no, sir, absolutely not, sir. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here haven't the remotest connection to the victim, you see. I rest my case.
Oh boy.
You little weasel. Ah, he's better at this than I am. He's better at this than I am. Gosh, Mr. McGill has certainly been thorough in his research, hasn't he? Please, don't let me little interruption hold up the proceedings. The skylight was shut the entire time. Could have possibly opened it. Are you quite certain about that? That the skylight was shut the entire time? I'm going to lose my block of you in a minute. He's going to lose his rag of you in a minute. That's what he said. Take a look for yourself. Go on. You see, it's shut fast now, just like it was on the night. So it is, of course. A fellow the size of Mr. Mason could likely break right through it. That's still no... What? Just looking at the size of the thing, you understand. Ah, now you hold on a minute. Hold on there a minute, sir. The size of the thing means nothing. Not on its own. Let's consider the bigger picture here, shall we? Let's stop biting our cane, shall we? I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind. Loudly. I shocked myself with it as it happens.
This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First.
Oh, I just mean to say, well, the point is I tried to open the skylight, you see. But just my luck. I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. I went as red as rouge, I did.
Are you expecting me to sentence you?
But you could open it from the top, couldn't you? Oh, no, sir. The point is, the skylight can't be opened. I tried. I tried when I was inside that cabin of shame. You got something to say, lady? Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade. It opens. Huh? The skylight. That is what we were talking about, right? Oh shit. All them skylights open dead easy. More easily than you can load that weapon. That's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise when it broke wind, you can't do it from your inside, you mug. Oh. Look, a few weeks ago I was up on the roof deck on one of them drags. And I had a great haul. I mean, I had purses coming out of my ears. Miss Lestrade, this is not the forum to be eulogizing on the subject of your criminal activities. Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, he got wise to me. All four of them surrounded me, so I couldn't up at the bus and leg it. So what I did was I skylight, opened the catch and jumped right through. What? Yeah, the catch from the skylight is on the top side. That's why you can't open it from the cabin. The skylight opens from the roof deck? Come on, I saw it myself. Bailiff? Climb up onto the roof of the omnibus at once and verify the victim's claim. Oh, my hat. See? Order! 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 So, it appears that this three girls statement is quite true. I don't believe it. Skylight opens. From the roof deck. Mr. Naruhodo. This could be the clue we've been looking for. Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. So, the skylight opens. Perhaps I should investigate for myself. Okay, you know what? I think I'll leave this episode here. Well, okay, well, we're kind of getting the picture slowly, but it's still a bit foggy. Now there's a possibility he came from the roof, but then why didn't the two witnesses at the top see him? Because it kind of seems to me that I don't think they're guilty, but I don't know yet. We probably need more evidence, so we'll find out more in the next episode. But for now, if you like what you see and you like what you hear, be sure to like, subscribe, and get that bell on so you stay up to date on all my latest videos. As always, be safe, take care, and I'll see when I see you. Peace!